Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Arif Skandar and we'll be talking about the explosion at TNGI Chemical Limited on March 21, 2019. As an engineer, you must have integrity. Integrity is the most integral part in the job and the honesty that will bring safety to the workers around you. First, to be an integritable engineer, you must have incorruptibility, which is to be firm in your moral code, especially in any situation. Second, soundness. Soundness is consistent and logical in any decision making in any condition. And third, completeness. Completeness is the quality of state of being completely undivided in any condition or any stressful matter that needs your attention. Failure of integrity can impact so much. For example, the explosion at TNGI Chemical on 21 March 2019 became a grim reminder to engineers and staff. Due to the pending lack of integrity, even before the incident occurred, several years prior, multiple hazardous chemical accidents happened in the company, but due to negligence, no action of furthering the security and safety of the plant that took hundreds of casualties until now. The latest incident will serve as case study for future engineers to appreciate the principle of integrity at all times.
On March 21, 2019, the Tianjai Chemical Corporation experienced a devastating explosion at approximately 2:48 p.m. local time. The incident began with an observation of a fire flame within the plant, which was followed by a small explosion and seconds later a much larger and more powerful explosion. According to the statements of witnesses, a warehouse used for storing dinitrobenzene (DNB) and a recovering of spec or substandard nitro compounds was believed to be the explosion site, which caught fire for unknown reasons and resulted in a large explosion under a propagating fire. The scale of the explosion was so significant that it registered as a 2.2 magnitude earthquake with a focal depth of 0 meters. The accident triggered a series of domino effects in the chemical industry park, destroying 15 surrounding enterprises. The accident caused serious casualties and property damage, included 78 people killed, 76 injured, and 640 hospitalized, and the direct economic loss was 1.99 billion yuan. The intensity of the shock wave generated by the explosion resulted in the severe damage within an area of about 14 km and moderate damage area of about 48 km. A circular, a circular pit with a diameter of 120 meter and a depth of 1.7 meter covered by water was formed in the core area of the explosion. After the drainage, it was found that the explosion left a crater with a diameter of 75 meter and a depth of 1.7 meter, which was originally the center of the nitrated waste taking area in the old warehouse. Following the tragic explosion, the government swiftly responded by urging all-out efforts to search for trapped individuals and provide immediate medical attention to the injured. A strong emphasis was placed on conducting relief work in a scientific and efficient manner. To investigate the causes of the incident, an official government investigation group was formed. Collaborative efforts of a dedicated rescue team, which included 928 firefighters from 6 nearby cities, along with numerous policemen, medical staff, and anti-chemical troops. This unified team was organized to conduct the rescue operation and mitigate the impact of the disaster. The local residents of Jiangsu County demonstrated their solidarity and compassion by voluntarily donating blood for the injured individuals, ensuring that there would be no shortage of this life-saving resource during the crisis. To address environmental concerns, the authorities took immediate action to protect the surrounding water sources, three rivers inside the industrial park were blocked by dams to isolate and contain any potentially polluted water.
Moving on to the technical reasons for failure, the first reason for failure is due to overdue storage of nitrile waste. These hazardous chemicals were not properly disposed on time, where some of them can be traced back to up to 7 years. The extended duration of storage time causes the onset temperature for these chemicals to reduce and become slower. This allows for the nitrification waste to degrade over time, accumulate heat along the way, which ultimately lead to their autoignition. The second reason is due to improper storage management of the chemicals. Incompatible chemicals were not separately stored. Instead, they are stored in the same warehouse. Reactive chemicals such as dinitrobenzene can react rapidly when mixed with incompatible chemicals, causing them to disintegrate. This reaction lowers the starting exothermic temperature of the chemicals and can become a potential source of ignition, especially for flammable vapors. The next reason for failure is due to the lack of proper ventilation in the warehouse. After a long duration of storage time, the nitration waste degrade, which causes the heat to build up in the waste containers. However, the warehouse was not equipped with proper ventilation system to remove the produced heat by the chemical reaction. This causes the heat to accumulate over a long period of time, reaching the flashpoint temperature for the chemicals, which causes them to auto-ignite. Lastly, the last technical reason for failure is due to improper plant design. The plant was not designed properly to accommodate flammable and reactive materials. This is proven by the absence in emergency shut-off valve for benzene and methanol tanks, which are both flammable. Also, there is only one common pressure point used for all dinitrile tanks. This proves the improper plant design, which may contribute to the accident.
Moving on to the ethical issues of this incident. First is lack of professional expertise. The plant safety management team lacked the expertise to handle the dangers of solid waste compounds. This led to them storing the nitrogen waste for a long period of time, which caused it to increase in temperature and auto-ignite. Second is disregard for community and environment safety. So the concentration of sulfur dioxide and also the nitrogen oxide in the air of the surrounding area seriously exceeded the relevant standard after the explosion. The factory should have any containment measure to contain any waste if an incident happened, but they failed to do so. Third is incompetent government supervisor. For example, in this incident, only 14.4% of the government officers they are qualified in workplace safety background instead of the targeted 70%. Hence, they may carry out their duty without any expertise, which led to them maybe passing some of things that shouldn't be passed. That is all.
The person in charge must have the skills and credentials before proceed on taking responsibility in handling hazardous substances. The second one, we will increase the hazard identification and undertake a thorough risk analysis, which the chemical companies must aggressively apply rules targeted at identifying and prevent potential hazard. The third one, we will have the strengthened safety protocols by actively putting legislation and guidelines into place that support safe procedures. By reviewing and inspection that will verify all safety protocols are being followed during action on handling hazardous chemicals. As for the fourth one, we need to pay attention to the hazardous chemical materials and waste. Thorough risk assessment and safety evaluation can be conducted to identify possible risks and take proactive action to solve them, which will decreasing the possibility of accidents in the future. The fifth one is to implement strict controls and regulation for industrial projects. This organization can swiftly spot any potential holes or weaknesses and take steps to improve safety by cooperating and exchanging information. And the last one, we will reinforce online monitoring system, which the authorities can prevent accidents and lessen their effect by swiftly identifying any deviation or irregularities in the system itself.
All in all, in conclusion, integrity is a fundamental principle in engineering ethics, and it is essential for engineers to uphold ethical standards in their professional practice. The integrity as a core value, various harm can endanger the lives of people working in the environment. It is critical that as an engineer that we question that any risk involved in every decision is important while you can maintain good quality.